Okay, so just starting right off the bat, have either of you ever ran Facebook Marketplace posts? Not necessarily ads, but have you posted on Facebook Marketplace?
Yes, I have.
You have? Awesome.
I
Mary
have,
Alice?
yes.
You might be on mute. So you have what's been your experience with that, Steve?
Well, well, first of all, they're free, so that's a plus. But I've not really had much of a response from those ads. But then again, I wasn't using your text, so I guess part of it would be using your suggested text for that type of ad, and then going ahead and pushing it out and seeing what happens.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Awesome.
I was using a really nice image, and of course it was an image of a $2 million home. But then, I said in the ad text that, homes start from 800,000, and the responses I got were sort of, oh, I want that home in that photo for 800,000. So I was basically wasting my time telling people that that wasn't possible. And, it was a photo of an example home. So maybe I just sort of messed up the combination of the text and the photo.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Awesome. Devon, welcome.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Doing well. All right, so let me just share the screen real quick. We're gonna go through this, and for those that have run, are you able to see my screen right here?
Yes.
All right. So for those that have posted on Facebook Marketplace, just bear with me. But for those that have not posted on Marketplace, this is going to look a little bit new to you. So Facebook has the Craigslist equivalent over here on Facebook, which is basically Marketplace. So it has gained a lot of steam. It's gone through many different iterations since it was introduced about, I want to say 4 years ago. I could be mistaken when it was really done mainstream for our purposes. So Marketplace is a place where you can just go sell anything. Again, just think of Craigslist, but here on Facebook. The added benefit and main difference between Craigslist and Marketplace is that here you have your social media Facebook account tagged, or that comes with your post. So on Craigslist, you don't necessarily know who's posting. You don't have much intel on who that is. So that's where a lot of the sketchiness comes into play. But here you have the profiles of the vendors. So if you just created your Facebook profile, which I don't think that's anybody on the call today, but if you just created your Facebook profile, know that you're not going to be able to post on Marketplace for about 3 months or so. They're trying to cut down on a lot of spam and a lot of scams. So they don't allow new profiles to immediately post on Marketplace. That's one big difference. And dependent on actually, I don't even know what it depends on. Each one of you, I can guarantee you, has a different variation of Marketplace than what you see on the screen here, because they're continually testing. They're continually adding different features, taking away different features, adding capabilities, taking away capabilities. So what you're seeing right here is going to apply to a lot of people, but not to everybody. So don't get frustrated if you don't see a certain button, a certain feature, a certain whatever. It's common. It's par for the course. So with that being said, we're going to go over to home sales real quick, just to give you a glimpse of what people in the marketplace are doing right now. So there's really 3 types of posts that that I encourage you to run, and we'll go through each example as the call progresses. But as I scroll down here, you see a lot of homes that are being advertised. Some of these are actual homes. Some of these are just placeholders. They put an image of a home, and then they do some sort of different sale. So let's just see. That's not a home. So you have land for sale. Let me scroll back up. Nice home in Anna. That's a bad ad. House for sale. That's a real home. That's a lot. Home, casa, house, that's just playing the algorithm. Financiada por dueño, so owner to owner financing. That right there, that's going to be a very common one that is a huge strategy to get people to come to you. So this is not necessarily the three that we're going to cover today, but just to give you an example, because it's a good, I can tell you that they are getting a ton of traffic through this post simply because it's financiada por dueño. So they know their target audience. They're looking for people that speak Spanish and people that are looking for essentially for sale by owner, but also financed by the owner. So seller financing. And the reason for that is many. The clientele typically does not have credit, or if they do have credit, it could be a little bit challenging. So they know their audience. In this, again, I guarantee you, they are getting a ton of traffic. And you would think, well, that's fantastic. I'm going to run that ad. Well, you have to consider, are you able to service that type of client? Do you have a lender that only does I-10 loans, which is a different type of loan? It's not conventional. It's not FHA. It's not USDA or VA. A lot of the people that are reaching out to this poster, and we'll click on it, are going to be people that have an I-10 number. So it's a federal number where they report taxes, but that's it. There's typically not much beyond that. So they're not necessarily bank financeable in the traditional sense, where you're talking about conventional loans and FHA loans. So there's a little bit of a detour from where we were going, but I just wanted to take the opportunity. When you're presenting options like this, if you do seller financing, be prepared to service the clientele that you're advertising for. So if you do this in English, you can very easily do that. You're going to get a ton of traffic, but you either need to have a credit repair person on hand, ready to go, or you would need to have a lender that knows how to qualify people pretty aggressively, or can improve somebody's credit significantly, fairly rapidly. So does that make sense when it comes to this type of ad? The silence is telling me yes, that makes a ton of sense. Awesome. Great. I like it. So again, that's a little bit detour, but let's talk about the three different types of ads. And I'll show you how to sell something, which we're going to go to sell something right there. We're going to go homes for sale or rent. They did this change about 3 months ago where you're able to use business pages. So I won't share everybody else's business page, but you're able to post from your business page. Now, having split tested side to side, I can tell you that I would stay away from my business page. I would encourage you to post as yourself, as an individual. And the reason for that is you don't want to give people the impression that you're a real estate agent until they've already reached out to you. At that point, they're kind of stuck. There's hesitancy for people to click on the on posts that are from real estate agents because they don't want to be sold to. And it's just, I mean, you run into this every single day in your business. So I'm not telling you anything that you don't know. So when it comes to listing a property, I highly suggest that you go with using your personal profile. And then when they start asking you questions, that's when you can start engaging. And we'll talk about how to actually convert somebody that has reached out. So to list, it's very, very simple, very intuitive, and way easier than Craigslist. If you've ever sold anything on Craigslist, you have the ability to put 50 photos, so 50 pics. I highly discourage you from doing all 50. The most that you're going to need, the absolute most, is 5 images. In fact, I would argue that 5 is even too much. So 3 is really the sweet spot. You're going to put a picture of the front of the house, and then a picture of not the middle of the house, a picture of the best room, whether that's the master room, the kitchen, the remodeled bath, whatever it is. You're going to put an interior photo there, and then a picture of the backyard. So you're covering all bases. The front tells a lot about the house. The inside gives a lot about the condition, and then the back gives you more of the feel for how much room there actually is in the property. So when it comes to photos, again, over 5 is going to be overkill. You don't need that much. So let me backtrack for one quick second and really break out the 3 types of posts that you can make for some leads. The first type of post is going to be advertising a property. It can be any type of property. It could be a for sale by owner property. It could be a just listed property, a property that you just listed. It could be a new build property. So going to new build communities, similar strategy to the Facebook ads for new build leads, except here they're free. So you can post new builds that are ready to go or that are still being built. So you're able to post those as well. And really any other listing, a listing that has had a price drop, whether that's your listing or your broker's listing, essentially it's EXP, or another agent's listing. So just asking for permission in writing is basically all it takes. So we're talking about listing a property or promoting a property by putting it on Facebook Marketplace. That's the first strategy. The second strategy is advertising your knowledge. And what does that mean? What does advertising your knowledge mean? When you're advertising your knowledge, you know a lot more about real estate than regular buyers and regular sellers. So when I say advertising your knowledge, you're going to put something that the general public probably is not aware of, that they can come to the closing table with 0 out of pocket. There's programs for that. They can come to the and those programs happen to be, just so everybody's aware, VA loans, USDA loans, down payment assistant programs. Those sell quite a bit. So you're providing information about it, not about you, but knowledge about real estate that a lot of people don't have any concept of, and it's not their fault. It's just they just are not aware. They're not aware that a 580 credit score can get them into a home. Maybe right now it'll be a little bit trickier because banks have increased their requirements, but that's okay. So putting information like that, sharing that you don't need 20% down. That's another thing that is that's a myth out there that's going to help you get people through the door. So basically you are advertising knowledge. So you are posting about either programs that are not commonly known or dispelling myths that people have in their mind. And let's just see, if you wanted to cater to the I-10 community is what I call it, the community that only has the I-10 as the as their I guess qualifying national document, whatever you want to call it. So that they would need an I-10 only loan. If you have a lender, you can market that all day. Again, you are advertising the knowledge. So that's the second. So the first one is advertising a property, regardless of which one it is. The second is advertising your knowledge. And then third is advertising yourself. We're not going to spend too much time on the advertising yourself because those tend to get flagged fairly quickly. So they don't work as well as they used to. But advertising yourself is nothing more than providing a billboard back here. So you see the homes and you see all that fun stuff. Well, when you're advertising yourself, you're providing your services. You're not going to have that much success with that. I have seen success, but not as much as the other two strategies. So that is more of a complement to what you're doing already. So when you're advertising yourself, you're putting information about your experience. You're putting information of how you're going to work for the client. You're putting information that, again, puts you in the best light. So those are the 3 strategies: advertising the property, advertising your knowledge, and advertising yourself. Again, if I was to spend time and invest time for you, I would suggest that you go with the first one first, and then the second one, do that at least once a week. But the third one, I wouldn't spend too much time with, especially because it just hasn't proven out in all of the markets consistently. So focus on those first 2. And there's really not a limit on how many posts that you can make. So you can be aggressive with this. What's going to be challenging here is converting people. What's going to be challenging here is servicing the 20 messages that you're going to get every day, the 50 messages that you're going to get every day. So what's going to dictate the success, to your point, Steve, is going to be following up with the people and actually converting them. Do those three strategies make sense so far? Any questions on those? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. No questions. All right, so let's talk about the first strategy. Let's talk about actually posting the property. Let's say it's a new build. And I know we spoke about new builds last week, but they're good. So finding a community in the area that you're trying to market, you know that a home is about to be ready. To Al's point that a lot of people don't like waiting. So having a home that is getting ready to be completed, getting those pictures either physically yourself, if you're right there, you might as well take some pictures, and putting them up here is very valuable. So let's just go through posting. All you have to do is post the images here, the photos right here. Again, limit yourself to 5 max. Homes for sale or rent, then you would just put for sale, of course. Property type, you would just put that it's a house or whatever it is, if it happens to be a condo. Bedrooms, you're going to put some additional qualifying features to the home. And then the address, you don't have to be specific. You can put the street, and that's why you see keep property address private. So when you put the actual address, if you go to keep property address private, it's just going to give the vicinity based off of the address, but it won't show the actual address. And then the property description. So when it comes to the property description, you are going to treat it just like an ad. You're going to do a little bit of creating some intrigue, creating some curiosity in the property. In the property description, you're going to put a little bit more about the property. You're going to get whatever's on the MLS. Let's just say it's had a rehab. So here you would put amazing property in Dallas, $30,000 spent in rehab. Reach out for more information. That's basically it. That's basically it. You are providing something unique about the property. If they just had a renovated, let's just say a bathroom, if they just received they put a new roof on it, if they did X, Y, and Z to the property, then that's what you're going to put here. Something unique. Let's just say it's on a half an acre, you're going to put that down. If the property is, let's just say undervalued, well, in this case, in this scenario, it's not likely, but you can certainly put that there. Really what you're trying to do is capture somebody's attention and have them make the first step in reaching out to you. So you're just creating a little bit of intrigue so they can reach you. And once they reach out to you, I'll show you what that looks like in a couple of seconds. And then you're going to put the rest of the information. So square feet, laundry type, which is basically in unit or out of unit. Parking type, you're going to see garage, air conditioning, heating, all that fun stuff. So when you go to next, that's when it's going to ask you, where do you want to distribute it? When you go to next, dependent on all of the groups that you're in, some of you are more active on Facebook than others. If you're on other real estate related groups, you're going to have the ability to distribute it from here to all of those groups. So if you're in buy, sell real estate in Boca Raton, buy, sell real estate in Southern California, buy, sell real estate in Nevada, whatever groups you're in, you can distribute. So I encourage you, before you go through and deploy this strategy, to join as many real estate related groups that are looking to buy, sell, lease. Those types of groups, those exist on Facebook all day long. So if you go to Facebook and go to buy, sell, lease, just give you some examples of some groups out there. Tarrant County, buy, sell, trade, garage sale, free stuff. Some of these will allow you to post real estate information. So buy real estate. The investor group, I wouldn't put on that. Let's just see. Dallas, Fort Worth, real estate, buy, rent, or invest. So you're able to post them in various Facebook pages. So buy house. Home buying and selling. Let's see, Lubbock. Where are mine? Go to groups. Okay, so join. Crowley, buy, sell, trade, barter. Corsicana, buy, trade, buy, sell, and trade. North Dallas, buy, sell, trade. So you have a lot of Facebook groups, and a lot of these will have their restrictions. They will have rules that you can follow. So make sure that you are following them before you push them to everywhere. So this listing is going to live on Facebook Marketplace, but it's also going to be distributed to every Facebook group that you can join, and will allow the post to go up. So you don't have to spend a lot of time on this strategy. If you want to go in through doing this once a day, or set aside your Mondays to post a couple of listings on here, and then have the week gather your leads. So you don't have to spend a ton of time here. Once you create it here on Marketplace, you can distribute it everywhere else, and they're going to reach out to you. So let me see. I think I kept a few to show. Okay, so this is a home that I was just doing off market for a rent. This is an investment house. So this is for lease. You can see that a lot of people reached out, and at that price point, it's relatively high in my neck of the woods. This was a rehab, so this was an investment property down in Dallas. The buyer actually came from here, so let me find the buyer real quick. So about 35 people reached out, and there was no buying agent, so it was only me. So Near's the one that ended up buying this property, and he bought it cash. So this works. So this just came from Marketplace. Let's see. This was a listing that was placed. This one didn't get too much. This one didn't get too much action. This one got a little bit of action, and this was a brand new home, not too much. This one was another investment property, got a little bit of traction. This one got significantly more traction. This was a listing as well. And then different properties are going to garner different attention. So this was more of a lease. But when you're posting, what's going to happen is, let's go to home sales. Let's just say this one, home in Aledo. And this is going to be you. You're going to be the one that's posting here. This is the most common question that you're going to get. Is this available? Because it's pre-populated for them. So whenever somebody is interested in the home, so this is the information that they're going, that they're providing, and you go send, it's going to start a new messenger conversation. And you're going to get everything, all of the conversations that you have, whether that's 5 conversations, 20 conversations, 50 conversations from 50 different people that reach out to you. It's going to start a unique thread. And that unique thread is on Facebook Marketplace. And the moment that you mark that home as sold, let's just say you had a listing that you just put out into the market and 50 people reached out, and then you ended up selling it, and now you're going to clean up your marketplace and mark it as sold. The moment that you flip that switch to sold, that right there, the 50 people that reached out to you and the chat that was created individually for those 50 people, that goes away. That chat is only for Marketplace, and that chat will go away as soon as you mark the item sold or delete it. So that is very important, and the reason being is because once that goes away, you're not going to be able to remember everybody that reached out to you. So the strategy is, once they reach out to you, you're going to start another thread outside of that unique thread that's created by Marketplace. So you're wanting to get into their normal DMs, not into the Marketplace DM. Does that make sense? Because that part right there is super important. Does am I making sense in that distinction of the Marketplace Messenger thread and the normal thread, your normal Facebook Messenger? It sounds like it does make sense. So that is that's a very important aspect to this, because again, the goal is to start communication with as many people that are looking to buy, as many people that are looking to sell. And you don't want to make the mistake of having a really good ad out there, a really good post that has 50 people on your thread, and then it goes away because you deleted the post. So just make sure that you're aware of that, in starting conversations outside of the thread that Facebook Marketplace creates, which is right here. Okay, so now what happens when somebody reaches out to you? The information that we provided is basically this, something like that. I wouldn't necessarily use that verbiage, but this is this is the actual owner of the house. You can tell this right here. This is the listing that they have on realtor.com. Again, this is the owner. So they just want to sell the house as quickly as possible. This single property website, that is what you're going to provide in the response. Does that make sense? So actually, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Be right back. Someone's at the door. All right, sorry about that. Okay. Chat. All right. So whenever they reach out, they're going to be asking for additional information. Of course, that's what you promised. And the response can be many different things, but what I encourage you, whenever you're responding, to respond in short bits. Don't don't over try to sell it. If they're asking a question specifically, let's just say, is this available? Yes, it's available. Is there something that that stood out on the property? So asking questions that will solicit responses. So giving them everything that they were looking for right off the bat isn't the best strategy out there. But when it comes to them asking for additional information in detail, that's very simple for you to create since you're on KV Core. And I'll show you what that looks like right now. So as to make your life a lot easier. So I would create an IDX squeeze page. So it's like this. I go to start building. And let's just say this was the property. Let me try to copy it real quick, because I don't want to send them over to realtor.com because there's going to be some other agents on the side. So I'm going to look for the MLS. Where's their listing? I wonder if it's a for sale by owner. Yeah, it might be a for sale by owner. Let's do this. Okay. So I would go over here and create a single property website. I would remove the property views allowed before registration. So there's a pop-up that's going to show up, or would have showed up if I would have left 2 on there. So whenever they visit the site twice, then a pop-up comes up asking them for their contact information. But at this point, we don't need it because we're speaking with them on Messenger. So we're going to generate the link. And I just put the MLS ID right there. And this is the link that I would send them. So I just put a random link off of the MLS. And that way it has your contact information. That way it has the rest of the information that they were looking for. And you don't have to type it out in a long response. All you have to do is send them that link after you have a bit of communication with them, so they have the rest of the information that they asked for. Does that make sense? Any questions on this? I'm either killing it real quick or real awesomely or amazingly, or it's just obvious. So is there any questions on this one strategy? Because before we go to the next one.
Nope.
Awesome. So again, there's not a limit to the amount of times that you can post on Marketplace. As you can see here, there's going to be multiple people that that post the same either the same post or something similar. Now, speaking about same posts, what you're going to find is that you're going to be flagged down for duplicates if you keep the exact same post. So let's just say you wanted to advertise a community in the area and you use the exact same images, the exact ad copy or the exact post copy. That's going to get flagged down as a duplicate. So that's why the whole picture is also very important. You want to put 3 different pictures on the other ad, and then 3 different pictures on the other ad. So you want to vary things up a little bit so it doesn't get flagged down as a duplicate. What's important for you is you're out there putting some fish hooks so they can reach out to you, and then you start the conversation. And that is that's when you're advertising a property. Now, going to that second strategy of advertising your knowledge, let's see where I'll show you in advertising your knowledge, because they actually, a lot of them ended up taking it from me. Let's see, 0 down. Show you what a 0 down payment assistance programs. So this is advertising your knowledge. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or not, you may qualify for down payment assistance. So there's that unique piece of information that a lot of home buyers don't know about. Worried because your credit is not looking too good? No worries, we can help you with that. I wouldn't word it that way, but you can certainly do that. Closing costs are negotiable. Closing day can be between 30 to 60 days. This was not the best version of it. However, they are advertising their knowledge. And if you put your contact information there, like your phone number and your email, you're going to see these messages, hidden information. So avoid doing that altogether. You can call yourself out as a realtor in the ad copy. That's fine. Depending on your state, you may not need to do that. So that's something for you to research on your own. However, this is an example of marketing your knowledge. Down payment assistance. Show you some other versions. Affordable new build. So you see right here, they're not marketing a specific property. This is just to draw people's attention. And you're gonna see, oh, actually they might be. So let's go to another one. New construction. Let's see. I'm looking for something specific here. So 0% down payment assistance, grants for house who qualify, down to a 620 credit score, located, blah, blah, blah. So you have this was kind of in between advertising an actual property and advertising the knowledge. I would not combine both of these because there's two different strategies. However, both of those are going to give you some great responses. So you see right here, this home qualifies for down payment assistance. We offer I-10 loans. So it goes back to having something that is not commonly known. So attention, future homeowner, reserve your new home today, only $500 down. We offer straight leases, in-house financing, new home starting at blank, concept, open content, blah, blah, blah. Looking for new construction, call anytime, hidden information, my bank. I don't know where that's at. Okay, so that is the marketing, the strategies. And I actually did not get the, if I can find these real quick, I'll send them to you via email, the actual ad copies. Let me put that on my note. I meant to pull those up. Email, post, examples. Okay. All right, so I have that on my note. I'm going to email you the post examples of what it actually looks like so you don't have to guess. I know I gave you some rough examples. It just, sorry, I ran out of time to actually pull those in. But I'll give you the examples of what to post in different scenarios, whether you're marketing a property, marketing your knowledge, or marketing yourself. That way you don't have to guess. So are there any questions? Because this is basically the end of it. We since there's no questions, we went through it super quickly.
Mm-hmm. So Jaime, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So basically,
I like the backboard, by the way. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I like the background, by the way.
Yeah, it's coming along. All right. So question for you. So basically, what you do is you manually answer these people like all day, every day.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's basically what it is. People can make this the entire career. People are making this their entire career, where that is, they're having conversations with people now where people kind of miss it. No, I mean, nothing wrong with it, but where people kind of miss it is there are a lot of people out there that don't have the credit. And that's when it comes down to aligning yourself with a good credit repair company. I'll give you a program. It may not be available in your neck of the woods, so my apologies. But there is a program, and I wish Safi and Roy were here. They're out of California. They're the ones that have a program similar to this for their agents. There's a program out there that allows people, there's a program out there that allows people to have get enrolled into credit repair. It may cost $100 a month, whatever it happens to be, and it may take 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. But there's a program where you can ask the buyers, I don't know how to mute these. I'll just move over here. You can ask the buyers to sign a buyer rep agreement and promising that they're going to use you as their agent once their credit improves enough to purchase. And once that happens, you rebate them or credit them what it costs them to improve their credit. So a buyer that has a 500 credit score and wants to buy a house meets with you, you offer that program, they get enrolled into credit repair, and whatever it ends up costing, whether that's $400, $600, whatever it is, once they are ready to go from a credit standpoint and they go and buy a house, you credit them back what it actually cost them. So the buyer, if they don't go through and purchase a home, okay, they spent $400, $500, whatever it ended up being, and they now have better credit. Fantastic. But that's the worst case scenario because they're going to get their credit improved. Now, if they go through and actually purchase a home, that $500 that they already invested it gets credited to them back. So not only did they spend really zero to improve their credit score, but they ended up buying the house. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So there's programs out there, and I'll have to get with Safi and Roy, see which program that they're using. I know that my previous broker was doing that. I don't think actually I don't know where he's at now, but I'll get some additional information if you're interested in something like that for you. The trickiest part is building confidence with buyers and really assuring them that it's not a scam, because for them it's so new, nobody does it. So it's just the education piece. You know that it works. Other agents that are using it, they know that it works, but the public doesn't know that. It's not shady. I know I'm trying to make it, I know it kind of sounds shady, or I don't know why I'm going to the negative side, but it is a program that is working right now. And I'll actually invite Safi and Roy to talk about it in the next call. So I know that they are actively using it, and I know they are seeing success with it where they're enrolling into credit repair. But at the end of the day, that's not everybody's willing to do that. And also, you're real estate agents, you're not credit repair specialists, and that is a subset of the entire buyer pool. So I'm not saying you make that your entire niche, but just know that there are programs out there that will help you convert a lot more of these Facebook Marketplace leads. It's just having an additional step, an additional piece in your process in order to be able to convert those leads. But yes, to answer your question, long-winded way of saying, when you're posting out properties, if you do 5 posts a day, if you do 1 post a day, you're going to be plenty busy answering messages back and forth.
Do you recommend any of these companies that fix credit?
I would recommend the one that was introduced to me. I just don't deploy that strategy at scale, because that's not necessarily the clientele that I'm working with, that I would like to work with, just to be completely
correct.
But yes, I will send you the company that I would work with.
Now, with that being said, Jaime, because I'm in the same boat right now, so I don't want to use that strategy because that's not the clientele that I want to start working with. So basically, I want to start working more with like conventional or maybe some jumbo loans. Even right now, they're a little tricky. But I mean, what kind of marketing or what kind of ad would you recommend for this?
I would recommend the home ad.
Okay.
Because the second, the knowledge part, you're catering to finding a way for people that don't know there's a way. And what that means is people, this sounds so bad. I know that I'm not going to have an issue qualifying for a home. I'm closing on an investment home next week. I'm not going to have an issue. And there's a lot of people out there that are not going to have an issue. So I don't care about down payment assistance. I don't care about the credit. I don't care about, so there's a lot of things that I don't care about because I know that I'm going to buy. The people that do care about that are in a different situation. I'm not saying anything derogatory or anything bad about that, but it's just being real with you. There's some people that do not have that luxury, because it isn't luxury, don't have that privilege, and they need to figure out a way to buy a house because on paper they're not able to do that. So to answer your question, I would put a home listing out there. I would start with new builds because those are easy to just pop up out of everywhere. And you can do that at scale. You could do that for the Crescents, for DR Horton. You can do that for Lennar. You can do that for KB Homes. You can do that for other communities and get a different flavor, because no one's going to see that, oh, it's that same agent or that same person posting about everything. No one's ever going to make those connections. unless I continue commenting, and then yeah, they're going to make a connection. But I would start with a new build, and I would start with advertising the property.
Would you advertise any wholesale property, which is basically a cash deal for investors?
If you have the systems to work those, they're going to fly off. They're going to fly off the shelves.
Okay.
If you have a home that's an investment style property, they're going to you're going to get a lot of people, but get ready to get a lot of people that have $30,000 in cash and think that they can buy the house, whatever it happens to be. So just be ready for that. That's actually one that that's one of the better performing ones. Selling, it was that pink one that was really not good looking. So at some point I just stopped responding. So I did a little YouTube tour of it.
Okay.
I would send them that. I would send them the YouTube tour of it. But I knew that this house was going to sell. It's not a question of it. This is an area that's being gentrified, I guess. I don't know the appropriate way of saying it. But at some point I just stopped answering because I was getting so much activity, and I knew that it was already going to go into contract. So for me, it didn't make sense. So that guy right there, he's actually an investor, not as big as an investor as he thought he was. He's the one that actually ended up buying the property. Let's see. A lot of these ended up giving me their contact information, and I have them in my drip. Let's see, who else do we have? John. No. There's another one. Naomi, she continues to email me some homes, but she's not eligible for any of them. So yeah, to answer your question, wholesales or investor type properties, those are going to be all day long. However, get ready to respond to a lot of those type of, there's $30,000 is a lot of money. Don't mishear me. But when it comes to real estate, that's just not going to get the job done.
Right. Got it.
Awesome. Any other questions?
Well, you were talking about advertising someone else's listing.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you get the form to get that in writing from the other agent?
If it's another agent, a simple text and a simple email will do.
That's all you need?
That's all you need. So let me see if I can pull it up really quickly. Who did I send it to last? I know I sent it to Steven. It's very short. Here it is. Okay, so I just put it in the header. So if somebody emails you, as an example, if somebody emails you a property that they're advertising through one of these mini services that have an email blast, let's see if I can find one. Right here, there's a perfect example. If somebody's paying an email service to blast you with this home, all you have to do is just reply back and then put something like this. Beautiful home, would you allow me to market this out to my network Facebook community to see if I can bring you a buyer? So they buy these flyers all day long, and there's a lot of them in your MLS that when you have a listing, you can send it out to a ton of real estate agents. That's what they're doing right here. So most likely you already get a ton of these emails. So finding homes to advertise, that's never going to be an issue. You can use something, you can use these pop flyers that they send you as homes that you can market, and just make sure that you ask for it. Most of these people will just reply back, yeah, no problem, bring us a buyer.
Okay.
copy this. Any other questions around there? I'll make sure I include this. Alrighty. Okay, well that was basically all we had. So I hope that this was helpful. And I'm gonna stop sharing real quick, and I'm gonna stop the recording.